You coming to my musical theater shows and me thinking it was because you were in love with me is my favorite thing that's ever happened.
But really, I was just a closeted gay in the Midwest who was bored, and there was a live theater performance that was going on, so I had to go see it.
You brought me roses to the Joseph and Technicolor Dreamcoat.
You deserve roses. It was your opening performance.
And I told all my friends, I said, this guy loves me so bad. And it turns out you just knew musical theater etiquette, which is incredible. This week, I have a very special surprise for you. This is my most highly requested podcast guest so far. He is my best friend, my current roommate, my first lover in high school, the man of my dreams, my soulmate, the love of my life, Matthew. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, gorgeous. How was your day?
I'm hungover.
Okay. You were out last night?
I'm really hungover. I went to bed at like 2 a.m. It was a Thursday hangover, which is new for me. I went out on a Thursday. You're never going to guess what the deal was last night at the club.
What was it?
Pictures of Pink Whitney.
Pink Whitney pictures.
Which is my college blackout drink. That was my that's the one drink that if I taste, I gag.
Oh, I'm aware.
But it was also like a $10 pitcher. And so I had to buck up.
I'm surprised that Scarlett does pictures. It's not like you're sitting at a table. Scarlett is like standing room only, no? So you're just like all standing holding a glass and someone's pouring a pitcher. Who holds the pitcher?
We were standing holding a pitcher with 3 straws in it. And then we were drinking the pitcher.
Like a fish bowl.
But
oh, awesome.
Our lovely lesbian friends that I went with, beautiful women, didn't want to drink the Pink Whitney because it was disgusting. So they're like, Hannah, you can hold the pitcher. Hannah, you should drink this.
They didn't like Pink Whitney?
No, it's disgusting. No, it's actually because it's a very bad drink. It's actually made for college students, and it's the cheapest liquor you can buy.
I haven't had it in 7 years, probably since like 2019, so I don't really remember.
The only time in my life, I've never blacked out other than on Pink Whitney. That's the only time was my 20th birthday party. The only time I've slept on a bathroom floor in my life was blacking out on Pink Whitney at my 20th birthday.
I pretty vividly remember you sleeping on the bathroom floor at my frat house in college after Juices. So
okay, well, I've slept on the bathroom floor 2 or 3 times.
I was gonna say, in fact, I think you slept on the bathroom floor every single time we threw Juices. Juices was a party that my frat would throw.
Oh wait, let's roll it back to the fact that Matthew was in a frat in college.
I wasn't a frat.
Matthew was in a fraternity in college, but it was like it was a gay one.
We had a high population of gay people in our frat.
It was
definitely.
Like
it was definitely skewed gay a lot more than most frats.
Engineers, gay guys,
or queer in general.
Music composition majors. People that play video games.
It was like gay guys and engineers. Queer people, engineers.
So I never felt weird about my safety in this fraternity. It was like a cool vibes fraternity. The brothers, the boys. I feel weird calling them brothers. It feels weird because I grew up in a cult and we had to say sister to refer to everyone. So I feel like...
Oh, I never thought about that.
But I feel like frats are cults a little bit.
Yeah, well, yeah, referring to people as brothers in that way is kind of getting into cultish territory. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Juices was my favorite party too.
Every boy's room was decorated with a different theme. Like, the reason why I love the party is because it was gay. It was a party with home decor and like Halloween decorations, and every single boy had to decorate his bedroom with a theme and like wear a different costume, and then they would serve a themed drink for that bedroom.
Yes, there was probably like 30 or 40 bedrooms in the house.
Yeah.
And yeah, you would decorate the room and everyone would make like their own mixed drink. And so the whole party was just running around the entire house trying like all 40 drinks. And everyone was sleeping on the floor by the end.
Okay, I definitely threw up on your floor.
I was going to say, I've definitely seen you sleeping on more than one bathroom floor. So I think that you probably slept on every bathroom floor in my frat house.
I feel like that's been enough. Thank you so much for coming on my podcast today. I loved having you. Oh my God.
Do you remember what any of my Juices themes were?
Lil Nas X.
It was a Lil Nas X themed room. And what was that music video that he had just dropped that was themed like angels and devils?
It was very controversial, I remember. It was like publicly like, Lil Nas X is shaming Jesus Christ. I remember that there was a time where Lil Nas X was heterosexual to the world. Like, everyone thought he was straight.
When Old Town Road dropped?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it was like a very big deal for him to come out as gay.
He saw a gap in the gay music market, and he is doing great things to fill it. Yeah, I love his music.
I am obsessed with Beyonce this week.
You have discovered Beyonce recently. You kind of missed that.
Have you guys heard about Beyonce? Do you guys know about this?
This is so fun because sometimes you like discover a new artist that you missed in your upbringing. Like I
I like that you
remember
said that gently. You were like in your
in,
in that weird way you grew up, you missed a lot of stuff.
in that weird period that you might recall.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I remember like last year you discovered Lana Del Rey for the first time, which was huge for me because I love Lana.
She had some crazy good songs. Oh my god.
I know. Also things that you like sing very well too. You do Lana at karaoke a lot now.
And thank you, beautiful. I've told the internet in my Daddy Got Diaries that you have come to all of my musical performances in my whole life.
Oh, of course.
So this guy's gonna know what I can sing well, obviously. Also, what I'm doing for karaoke. You're really helping me plan that out as well.
Well, you're singing a lot at karaoke. Yeah.
She's not shutting up at karaoke.
Slash pause. Slash pause. No, you just sing really well, so you can do a lot of songs well. You can do a lot of artists well.
Thank you, handsome.
Yeah. You can do Hamilton well.
Stop. Okay,
If we're going out for karaoke, she's pretty much gonna hit a Hamilton song. Usually, it's Aaron Burr,
Stop.
Alexander Hamilton.
Does anyone want to hit Aaron Burr at karaoke? Maybe. Does anyone want to wake up a little Aaron Burr at karaoke? And then it does usually suck the air out of the room. I think 2 times we've gone to karaoke together. Everyone's singing a fun song. Everyone's like, let's do Beyonce. Let's do Bruno Mars. Let's do like a fun classic karaoke song everyone knows. I get up, do Aaron Burr, and then my group goes, I think it's time to leave. The lights turn on when I do Aaron Burr.
No, when you get up on stage and you have a mic in your hand for karaoke, the song that you choose to sing is for you and you alone. You do not have to cater to an audience. That is your healing time. You sing Alexander Hamilton.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Do you have a go-to karaoke song? Because you're not really participating in karaoke.
I don't participate in karaoke very much because I'm not a great singer, but I'm learning. I just taught myself how to read music.
Can we tell them about your voice lessons?
Oh my God, my voice lessons. I tried taking vocal lessons, like one-on-one private tutoring vocal lessons. And I basically was like kicked to the curb. I did it for like 6 or 7 weeks. And at the last class, I was basically told not to come back because my teacher ended the lesson by the teacher started like rifling through this large old trunk that obviously hadn't been opened in years and muttering things like, there's got to be a more basic book in here somewhere. And from the bottom of this chest pulls out a book called How to Make a Sound and said, work through this and then come back when you think you can maybe match pitch better.
He said, we're going to start with the basics.
So that was humbling. I'm still working on it, but I
don't think you're that bad. I think he just didn't believe in you or himself.
Well, that's the thing is I like looked through the profiles of a bunch of these vocal coaches, and this was the only one whose like bio was like, I think anyone can sing. I don't think there's anyone that like can't learn to sing. You just have to practice. And then cut to him handing me a book that said How to Make a Sound and saying, well, brother.
Oh my God. Would you like to do my first segment with me?
Yes.
It's called Roses and Thorns.
Okay.
It's a classic youth group activity. We're going to walk through best thing, worst thing of your week.
Okay. I'm going to do a brain dump of some good things that have been happening to me.
Okay.
Recently, I have been kissing boys in bars. Very fun. Recently, I was gifted a huge collection of glass for my stained glass collection that I can make stained glass pieces out of. So that's a huge rose because I'm very excited about that.
I'm really excited for you to make my podcast sign.
Oh yeah, you want like the stained glass heart?
If you're on YouTube, you can probably see this, but I have a gallery wall behind me and I want a new centerpiece to be like a stained glass heart, and I have commissioned Matthew to make it. So if you see that coming soon, it will be an original work of art by Matthew, of course.
And I have a full trunk full and a full back seat full of new glass that my aunt gave me. Shout out Aunt Mary. So we'll have to rifle through it together, and you can pick out the colors that you want for your heart, or we can go shopping at like a glass store.
I looked through the glass with you, and I want pink so bad. And according to the internet.com, pink is the most expensive stained glass color. It's like the hardest way to stain glass.
Pink is an expensive glass.
And I'm so excited that we got that from your aunt.
Shout out Aunt Mary for real.
I think we have one together, a rose that I think we went to visit our friend in St. Louis last weekend.
Oh yeah, that was really fun.
She just bought a house, and we did a big friend group trip to St. Louis. And it was a really fun time. We like all crashed on air mattresses on the floor. It was like very fun. It felt like we were like in college again, and we like fixed things around our house, and we got really drunk. I flirted with a waitress.
Hell yeah, brother.
Another rose, I planned a trip to New York for the end of April, I like bought tickets and finalized going to New York, which I'm really excited about. And I get to be on a podcast of a famous person whose name I will not share until it's happening, but I'm so excited about it. I just get to be on this podcast of this person that I really admire, and I think it'll be fun.
Exciting things forthcoming.
I know.
In the Hannah space.
So in the Hannah space, things are looking up. Things are /pause. Someone asked me this on a TikTok for the last podcast that I did. My favorite bit to do with my friends, we'll do like /pause, like /POS or /neg /NEG. And if you didn't know, in like 2020, how do I say this? At peak neurodivergent TikTok, it became normal to tag comments, like tag the things you were saying to your friends, text comments with / and then the intention of that comment. So like for the purpose of a neurodivergent person to understand what you were saying, like a lot of times they tend to struggle with sarcasm. You would let them know if you were being sarcastic or not by saying like /SAR for sarcastic or /SRS for serious. And it sort of became a bit that has evolved into like a 4-year long running bit where we say /pause /neg at the end of everything that we're saying in the way that like a Redditor would. I say it all the time and no one understands what I'm talking about. And when I was opening for Amber in October, I was saying it to her backstage. Oh, I feel like the audience is like really ready to laugh /pause. And she was like, dog pause. And then I had to explain to Amber Autry, like very well-known touring stand-up comedian, what my little bit with my friends was.
You speaking in Reddit speak to someone you admire.
Yeah, I'm on Reddit a lot, which you know about me.
I am familiar with the crazy things you're doing in the Reddit space. Yeah.
Matthew has had to restrict my Reddit usage, genuinely like password my Reddit with a password that I don't know, because I think that as a woman with OCD, I should not be allowed to access every single person's personal experience throughout the history of time.
Yeah. PSA, if you have medical anxiety of any kind or any sort of OCD, put the Reddit down. You don't want to be on there.
You don't want to be on Reddit. Gay people with OCD, put it away. I have really bad health anxiety, and I've realized that any symptom I have, if I type it into Reddit, I can find someone that has died from the symptom that I have. And sometimes it's just like r/my foot feels weird. Okay. Sometimes I'm looking up r/my nose is itchy. Okay. And someone has had like an itchy arm and a weird feeling toe. And actually it was a terminal diagnosis and it was the end for me. So I can turn nothing into pretty much anything. So Matthew has, restricted me from it. So if you have access to a Matthew, I would really recommend taking that away from yourself.
Hey, screen time passwords, guys. They work.
What is your thorn for the week?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah.
What's your thorn for the week?
That our car broke down on the way home from St. Louis. It was 3 lesbians and Matthew in a Subaru on the way home from St. Louis, Missouri.
What else is new?
And Matthew's always hanging out with a big group of lesbians. That's something about him.
In a Subaru.
The AutoZone like wouldn't let us have someone come outside. They were like, we won't come outside to help you. I think classically women know that they're sort of mistreated at auto centers. Like this is something that happens to women a lot. And so we had to send our big scary dog, Matthew, into the AutoZone to like ask for help. And then they did send someone out to help us with the car, which was very fascinating to me. So that was a thorn to me, was having to send my gay guy in.
It's crazy how different the treatment is when I go with you to like an AutoZone or like a car shop or a doctor or something. Yep. Like they'll just flat out tell you they cannot do something and then I ask for it and they do it.
Yep. Male privilege. Who would have thought? Did you guys know about this?
Do you think like men and women are treated differently or?
Have you guys heard of this? What's the deal with
I'm gonna write a paper.
Food? I think you should.
What's the deal with airline food?
You can see live comedy.
She has like a tight 5 on airline food. So if that's something that interests you, really tune in.
Shut up. I hate you.
I didn't think of a thorn yet.
Oh.
My thorn was probably the boy that I had previously kissed coming up to me at the bar, and then like no one else was approaching me, but he wasn't kissing me.
And then you didn't get to kiss him.
Mind you, I still did have others come up and talk to me, but it was like...
Matthew's being fought over at the gay bar.
Hey, if you show up to line dancing and look confused, it can do wonders for you.
We had to stop going to line dancing together.
We did.
Matthew and I have always gone, not always, for the last few months we've been going to gay line dancing in Chicago, and it's been really fun. And we used to go together every week. We got really good at a 2-step. We can do a little spin. It's very professional. And no one was approaching us, and our friend had invited us under the guise that this would be something where we could meet potential suitors.
Suitors.
And women weren't coming up to me, men weren't coming up to Matthew, and we were like, okay, what's going on? This is so stupid. And it turns out it's because people thought we were married.
I was wondering where all of my solicitations were, and I think our chemistry was just too strong.
I think we have pretty palpable sexual chemistry to everyone that sees us together.
Oh, definitely, especially on the dance floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that you're spinning me, I totally.
Yeah.
People are thinking like, oh, they're gonna kiss later.
Obviously.
Do you remember the first time we danced together?
Is this going to be prom in high school?
Matthew and I went to all of our dances together in high school, or almost all of our dances together in high school. I knew that Matthew was gay for most of that time, but to others, it appeared that we were going to these dances romantically, but we would just gossip the whole time, which is my favorite thing. We would just like talk shit about people.
Yep.
You'd be like, her outfit, that dress does not go with those shoes.
Or the people that would slow dance to like fast songs with like a beat, and it's
I hated that in high school. Oh my god, when couples would just be like groping each other and just like slowly rocking back and forth to like party rock anthem.
No, because why are you in the middle of the floor doing that? You could go do that on the sidelines. This is for shake. The dance floor is for shaking ass if the beat's dropping.
This just in, grope each other over there. We were keeping up the guise of being in love pretty well. I think we were doing beard pretty well. Matthew, what are you starting a cult for?
I am starting a cult for trying the hobbies that interest you. I tried stained glass recently, which I was always really interested in.
Yeah.
And I've fallen in love with that. And I'm doing stained glass in a big way.
And you're making beautiful art for our home, which I love.
Yes, yes. Thank you for supporting me. And yeah, and I've always admired singing and music. And so I think it would be really sexy to be able to sing well. So even though the private tutor I hired did tell me I was hopeless, I'm gonna keep persevering, and I'm gonna keep learning, and I'm gonna learn to sing.
To add to what you said, not only trying new things, hobbies, but trying things that you're bad at.
Oh, yes.
I think is really admirable and difficult. And I'm not saying that you're bad at singing, but I'm saying like trying things that you aren't already naturally skilled in. Because I think that we both grew up as like, these like gifted kids, and we were told in all of our schooling, oh, you're so smart, you could do anything. And so we've kind of had to on purpose practice that skill of being seen trying and failing by other people. Because I think when you're told your whole life, oh, you can do anything, you're so smart, trying and failing becomes really embarrassing because you feel like you're supposed to be good at everything.
I don't know. I'm 25 now, and at my big age, like the things that I am naturally good at, I'm already really good at.
Yeah.
So I can't really grow anymore without trying the things that I'm bad at and just being consistently bad at them until I get better.
That's literally part of why I started stand-up, is because when we moved to Chicago, I lived alone for a little bit while you were living with your parents. I was so scared of being alone. I had terrible social anxiety, and I was like, I'm going to like macro dose humiliation to make me a less anxious person. And so I decided to go to an open mic, and like obviously your first open mic, you're gonna say jokes that aren't funny and you're gonna bomb.
You're gonna suck the air out of the room.
I just like did that over and over and over again, and part of it was because I didn't have any friends in Chicago and I was scared of being alone. So I was like, if I go to this bar on a weeknight, I'm not going to be by myself. So then I started doing stand-up that way, and it's become the thing that I love more than anything in the world, even though it's not something that I was naturally talented at to start, if that makes sense.
I disagree that you weren't naturally talented to start.
Oh, stop.
I think that if I'm in
stop.
I think that if I'm in the audience, you're never going to suck the air out of the room, because I don't think you've ever went in for a joke that has fallen flat for me.
Okay. Have you seen me bomb before?
I don't think so.
I bomb. Okay.
Maybe I just bring out the best in you.
I think something about me is that my comedy is specific.
There are some audiences that might not like what you got going on.
It's not for everybody. I did a set in Springfield, Illinois recently. So I was a feature act for another comedian. And usually when you feature for a comedian or you tour with a comedian, they'll try to pick someone that has a similar audience to you. That was not the case with this comedian. We had very opposite audiences. He had a very straight male in their 40s audience, and I have a very young, gay, female and non-binary audience, like 18 to 24.
Not a lot of overlap.
Not a lot of overlap. I go to this show, and it is the day of the Chicago Bears-Packers game, which is a big deal in Illinois. So there's men in the front row, full face paint, like the split face paint, like they're going to a game, clearly upset that their wives have made them come out to this comedy show. And they're watching the game on their phones the whole time that I'm up there performing. And I have this one joke where I mentioned Zohran Mamdani, a famous socialist New York City mayor.
And that's not going to play well in rural Illinois.
And as soon as I said that, like the light died in their eyes. Like it felt like pulling teeth. It was probably the worst I've ever felt after a set in my life. Was walking off that stage. It was the only time I've told that joke to a silent room. Like I've told jokes and like sometimes it's just for one person. Like sometimes there's only one person that gets what you're talking about and they laugh and they relate and that makes me feel happy. This was the only time I've done a 10-minute set to dead silence.
That's so crazy that the front row was literally just like men in warrior paint too. Like
they're preparing for battle and they're like, get this lesbian off my stage.
Not happy that you're talking about a democratic socialist.
But I feel like it is good for mental health to practice rejection in that way. Oh my God.
Do you feel that what didn't kill you made you stronger?
Mm-hmm. I have a second bomb example.
Okay.
This is just a humiliation ritual. I'm just telling you times I've been embarrassed. I did first date show at Laugh Factory in Chicago. And the premise of this show is kind of like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. It's a really fun show. There's a bachelorette that they pick from the audience to go stand on stage. And she will be like the bachelorette for the evening. And then there's 6 comics that go on stage and they do their set and they compete to date the bachelorette. And the audience will vote off comics one at a time, like one round at a time. They'll pick one comedian to have like lost the dating competition and leave the stage. This was like a horrible day that I was having. It was the day that I first slept with, and then she told me that she didn't want to see me anymore. Do you remember the first time in January?
I do remember.
So I was like very deeply sad that I just messed things up with this girl. Like everything is going terribly. I'm not feeling confident. I go on stage, do the dating show, and the audience hates me. I'm immediately the first person that the audience kicks off, which I get. I was bringing a terrible energy to the stage.
Right, because you had just been dumped.
But the way that they vote you off is they ask the audience, who do we think should leave the stage? And so I'm just sitting here at a sold-out Laugh Factory, Chicago, which is a theater of 300 people, screaming my name because they hate me. And it felt like a nightmare. It felt like a prank. Like I have had dreams where exactly that happens before. And I remember sitting on stage and thinking like, okay, if I can get through this happening, like any other embarrassment is not that bad.
That is macrodosing rejection in a big way. To have a theater of people like screaming that you are the one they don't like.
It was also someone from the audience came up to me after and she was very sweet. And she's like, we loved your set, but the Bachelorette, apparently they quizzed them before, said that she wanted someone short and I was too tall. So she was like, they were just excited to like vote me off because I was the tallest one of the 6. But in the moment I was having a really depressing day and I was like, no one likes me. What I am starting a cult for this week, I am starting a cult for going to the club on a Thursday.
Weekday hangovers. I do feel like it sets the tone for the weekend. I think that working a corporate job, working a 9 to 5 can steal all your energy and joy. And in that sense, 5 of your 7 days per week belong to corporate. And so by starting your weekend on a Thursday, you're sort of reclaiming power, I think, and allowing yourself to be drunk and hungover on a Friday is sort of like an act of resistance, I would say, in terms of being a comrade. And that's something that I really value. So I think that by getting really drunk off of 1.5 pitchers of Pink Whitney last night, I was committing an act of resistance. Absolutely.
Thank you.
No, boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I'm hungover on company time.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep. I also think I've been given this advice too, that like Thursdays are a great day to have a first date. Or like to try something new.
Yeah.
Like you go out on a Thursday night. My best dates have been Thursday dates, by the way.
I'm a big fan of a Thursday date.
Mm-hmm. We'll go out on a Thursday. And then if it's great, I'll ask to see you again on like Friday or Saturday because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's terrible, I still have 3 days to recover from the fact that I had a terrible day.
You have your whole weekend ahead of you still.
But if you only have 2 weekend days, if your weekend starts on Saturday, then you just ruin my weekend. Like
I cannot do first dates on a weekend.
I was listening to Caleb Barron's podcast this week and Taylor Tomlinson was on, and they were talking about how a first date should be 45 minutes, which feels incredibly short.
I kind of like that because after 45 minutes, you know whether or not there's chemistry there. And having it planned to end after 45 minutes allows you to get out if you know that there's not.
And then also if you do the Thursday date thing, at the end of 45 minutes, you can be like, I'd really love to see you again. Are you free tomorrow or Saturday? And that's hot.
That makes it really easy to be forward and there's not much scheduling involved.
So yeah, I'm starting a cult for going out on Thursday nights, whether that be to the club or on a date.
What's a good 45-minute date though? Like coffee?
Maybe boba. That could be cute.
Boba's a good one.
I'm weird about dates. Like last week, I'll bleep her name. Last week asked me to go to a movie. And I said no because I hate movie dates.
Well, you yap through movies. I Yap Through Movies.
Yeah.
If you can't add colorful commentary during the movie, then what are we even doing here?
What are we even doing here? This isn't even fun. Matthew and I watch movies unlike anyone else in the whole world, in that we will pause every 5 seconds to talk about what just happened on the screen.
What is a movie if not food for thought? And brother, I've got thoughts. If I've seen a scene, I have thoughts.
I would like to do a Socratic on the movie at all times.
But it does take us so long to get through a movie, which is why we don't ever watch them.
When we watched, right after college, we watched a bunch of movies when we lived with your parents. We would do 30-minute chunks every night where we would like watch and reflect a 30-minute section of movie. And I think it was really fun.
I don't consume much for more than like 30 minutes at a time. I do TV shows, but I usually do like one episode at a time, or I do 30 minutes of a movie, or even if I'm scrolling on TikTok, I do it for like 30 minutes. My attention span just is not that long. And to watch a movie front to start is such a commitment.
I have another start a cult for it based on what you just said. And I'm starting a cult for reflecting on the media you consume. We, as people, consume so much media in a day, whether it be like short form media or long form media. I'm watching hundreds of TikToks personally. I don't know about you. Or I'm binging like 10 episodes of TV in a day. And then at the end of a day, because I've consumed so much media, I have no idea what just happened. There are days that I have been watching my phone for 4 hours and I can't tell you a single thing that came across my screen. And that like makes me feel scared about my memory and the way that I'm processing and storing my memories. And so something that I've been trying to do pretty intentionally is to write a reflection about something compelling that I've seen, whether that be a movie review, a book review. If I see a TikTok that I like, I'll save it and I'll write a little note in my phone about what it meant to me or how that might impact my life. Because it's like, I think my memory used to be so good. Like I used to be a lot sharper, and I think it is absolutely related to the phone. Turns out it's the phone. Turns out phone is problem.
I think that's so beautiful and intentional.
So I'm, starting a cult for being intentional about my media and reflecting on the things that I see with my eyes.
I love that. Yeah, you will end up in like brain mush kind of thing at the end of the day.
And then you take my phone.
I've definitely been there. I think that I'm a bit more like reflective and introspective personally.
You said I actually do think about things while they're happening to me, which I love about you, by the way. I just am not, I don't do that. I get sucked into a little ADHD rabbit hole and I can't get myself out.
I don't know. I've always been this way, but there's almost nothing for me that is as entertaining as my thoughts. So like even if I'm just like
I love your mind.
scrolling through TikTok, all I'm looking for is food for thought. And then it's something that can give me a scenario to think about. And then I'm walking away from my screen and I'm daydreaming.
I think I do the exact opposite, in that instead of daydreaming, I will avoid my thoughts at all costs. Like nothing is more terrifying to me than my thoughts. So if I have to turn off the TikTok and spend maybe even a moment alone with myself, I'm going to fill that silence. That's sort of where I'm at right now.
Wow. It's interesting because I do think we're like kind of on opposite ends of a spectrum there, because there are problems that come into my life because of the way that I am rocking with it.
Yeah.
Like I have pretty bad insomnia, and it's because I enjoy my own thoughts so much that if I'm just laying there in bed, I'm happy as a clam. I am cracking myself up and then I can't fall asleep.
I have pretty bad insomnia because I'm scrolling until 2 a.m.
Mm.
Isn't that beautiful? I think oftentimes we're opposite sides of the same coin. We are experiencing the same problem, but from a different perspective.
Yes, pretty direct opposite sides of the spectrum.
When we met, we were probably a little bit more opposite than we are now.
Oh, definitely. We were very opposite. Like when we first met, I don't know like what brought us together, but I think probably just the phenomenon, at least in the Midwest, of queer people who don't even know that they're queer themselves finding each other.
I think there was a secret magnet in us.
Yeah.
You coming to my musical theater shows and me thinking it was because you were in love with me is my favorite thing that's ever happened.
But really, I was just a closeted gay in the Midwest who was bored, and there was a live theater performance that was going on, so I had to go see it.
You brought me roses to the Joseph and Technicolor Dreamcoat.
You deserve roses. It was your opening performance.
And I told all my friends, I said, this guy loves me so bad. And it turns out you just knew musical theater etiquette, which is incredible.
I can see where you would think that was courting, especially in high school.
Avery and I talked about this last week, that every lesbian has to have a last-ditch effort, like a last try at finding
For men.
a man. And you were my last-ditch effort at finding a man. I don't know if this makes sense, but being with you has always been so easy. We've always had like very easy conversation. I've always had a lot of fun with you. And in high school, I remember being so excited that we had such good conversational chemistry because I was like, oh, perfect. I'll just marry him.
Wow.
And I wouldn't allow myself to entertain the idea that I was gay. So I was thinking that if I had to live a life and like have a husband and have kids, I was like, this guy is going to be perfect.
Well, you were very much hunting for a husband when we met in high school because
Well, because all my friends were getting married at 17.
I was gonna say, yeah, like in the culture that you were in, it was like you were an old maid if you didn't have a husband by 20, and so you had to find someone quick, or kind of someone was going to be assigned to you.
Yeah.
And so you were on the hunt for beards. So.
And I said, this one is perfect.
And I said, this one likes musical theater.
This one brings me roses at Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and I think we're going to be great pals. My plan is just for us to high five a bunch, watch music videos.
I do want to say, I don't think I agree that I was your last ditch effort to give men a try.
Okay.
Do you remember the bracket that you did in college to like go on dates with men and then like rank them in like a tournament style bracket? You did that publicly, by the way. It's on her TikTok.
Stop! I haven't thought about that in a little bit too long. In college, it was called Tinder March Madness. It was like a viral series I had in 2019, and it was ranking men on Tinder by going on dates with them, and it was like 32 dates I went on where I ranked men and like pitted them against each other for which one would be the best, like who would win the Tinder March Madness bracket. But I went on literally dozens of dates with men just to like double check that I wasn't bi. I had never really felt strong attraction to a man before, and I was really trying to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke. Like I was like, I need genuinely, very methodically, I thought if I collect enough data on the way that I feel on dates with men, I can conclusively decide whether or not I'm attracted to them.
No, sitting down and scientifically doing it in like the bracketed way that you did was screaming your lesbian last ditch effort to me, because mind you, I had already suspected that you were probably a lesbian at this point based on your interactions with women that I had observed.
Okay.
Should I tell some?
Okay, you can if you would like.
You would be so giddy whenever a woman texted you that you were like kind of had chemistry with. You would like fall to the fetal position, like giggling to yourself when these women were texting you, and then you'd immediately like get back up and start making your March Madness bracket full of men to go on dates with.
You had me on Gay Watch for a long time.
And I was like, do you remember when I took a picture of you?
Matthew and Avery both had me on Gay Watch, and I was like dabbling with the idea that I could be attracted to women, and Matthew sent me a photo of myself that he had sneakily took while I was texting a girl that I had a crush on. I didn't tell Matthew that I had a crush on this girl. He just knew based on the way that I acted around her.
You could see it in your face.
He sent a photo of me texting this girl, and he said, I've never seen you light up this way, getting a text from all those boys you're dating.
It's still probably my favorite photo. Like, unadulterated bliss. You were so thrilled that this girl had texted you back, and it's a live photo too, and you're just like so happy.
I remember with that girl specifically, we braided each other's hair. Like that was our best intimate interaction exchange, was that I would go to her apartment and we would braid each other's hair, and I would just like think about like, oh, her hair's so soft, I'm so excited to like try a new braid on her today, I wonder if she would like it. And Matthew was just sitting there fully aware that that was very sapphic.
Yeah, I'll bet. Wrap it up, Sappho. Yeah.
There was something I wanted to go back to, which was high school. How you brought me flowers, and we had like this sort of outwardly romantic relationship, but together we were not doing romantic things. I think we've always given off husband-wife vibes to the people around us, but we weren't doing husband-wife things. And one example that I can remember is the way that Matthew and I would hang out in high school, because we weren't allowed to hang out one-on-one because he was a boy, is I would either A, sneak over to his house, or B, I would house sit for like other people that I went to church with, and then I would invite you over to the house where I was like house or pet sitting. And one time you came over, and we obviously watched musical movies. We watched Hairspray and Grease. Duh.
Naturally.
And our friends who had thought we were dating at the time asked what we did this weekend, and I said, oh, we were just watching Grease. And then Matthew goes, oh, we weren't really watching. Oh, we weren't really watching it, though. So they had assumed that we were making out, having sex the whole time.
Do you remember, what did I mean? That we talked through it?
We just talked through the whole movie.
Yeah.
We kept up a good disguise, I guess. We were good beards.
I don't know if it's because we like were really good beards. I think we've probably always had sexual chemistry.
Your mom is going to listen to this, and she's going to hate that we said this.
I know. And also just like the town where we grew up was so heteronormative that we were hanging out one-on-one, even when it was like against your rules. Like that definitely gives like they're flirting, they're trying to be romantic.
Yes, because I was sneaky hanging out with you, but I was sneaky hanging out with you so then you could show me music videos.
Yes, yes. But what we were actually doing was like having like rigorous intellectual debates and stuff. We were like comparing worldviews.
You were also sort of like trying to get me out. Like you were doing cult deprogramming on me when we were hanging out and then showing me music videos.
And I was kind of being ostentatious with it too, because there came a point where I knew that you were coming into our relationship as like an evangelical Christian who like wanted to convert me.
Yeah.
And I was like, watch this.
You said, I'm going to convert her so hard back. I'm going to convert her back.
And now I've got her kissing girls in a miniskirt in bars. So.
And thank you. And thank you for your service. I really appreciate it.
Matthew 1, Jesus 0. So,
do you remember when your mom got doxed?
I do remember. Yes.
I was in college and I went to one of my first college parties and I danced on a stripper pole. Okay. That's something that happened to me. That's something that happens to a girl when she has a little bit too much Pink Whitney. Okay. That's nobody's fault. A year after that had happened, I posted it to TikTok as like an example of how rebellious I had been. It was like, I was such a rebellious college girl way back in the day. So I decided to post that video to TikTok, and a man had a viral account where he would find videos of women doing drugs, going to parties, like, and just generally enjoying themselves, and then send it to their parents and be like, is this your daughter? And that was like his whole TikTok. That's like how he got famous. It was really stupid.
That's so creepy too. Like finding just public photos of women that like maybe have some cleavage out and then trying to track down their whole family and send it to them and be like, look at the whore you raised.
Creepy as fuck.
Creepy.
And in my specific case, dangerous because of the way that my parents had no idea I was doing anything like that. So
when I catch you, Ricky, I think you had like kind of been living out of our guest room by that point.
Yeah, I was living with Matthew's family. So they had seen a photo of like me at a family holiday with Matthew's mom, found her Facebook, and then sent her the photo of me on the stripper pole. And they're like, is this your daughter? And she was like, yeah, and I think she should do it again. Yeah, and she looks really beautiful, and she was having a lot of fun.
Mom had so much fun with that. You were so apologetic about it.
Oh my God, no, because the terrible doxing thing that happened was that my audience saw that video that this man posted and assumed that Matthew's mom was my actual mom, who for years I had been telling stories about like horrific abuse. And so these people assumed that this woman was my mom and were like sending her terrible comments about how like she was an awful mother and like
people were like trying to send things to her workplace too,
like trying to like call her work and like get her fired. Like it was a very scary time for me because I was like, I don't want my TikTok to be affecting this person that I really love. But she handled it like a champ. Mom
was like having a field day.
She was fighting back in the comments.
Yeah.
And she was having a lot of fun. I thought I might cut this, but that was heavy police time for me, where I was getting wellness checked a lot. Like my parents were calling in police wellness checks, so they would call the cops to come to my apartment, almost to just like let me know that they knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that they were checking in on me,
like letting you know you're being monitored.
Yes. So at that time, it would have been spooky had that video gotten back to them. And now they've probably seen it because I posted it again this week. But but I don't care anymore. So
we'll never know.
Yeah. Wow. Sometimes I say something and it's kind of a bummer.
Hey, and that's okay.
Last week, Avery and I talked about the Holocaust. That was sort of like a bummer too.
Well, I don't know what to do with that. I'm sorry.
And I think we should keep that in. I'm human. Would you like to do my last segment?
Yes.
Okay, this is called Confessional, and I'm going to ask you some juicy questions. What's something that you used to believe that you don't anymore?
I used to believe that I was heterosexual.
Matthew was a frat boy and a football player.
Yeah, on paper, I had some pretty, heterosexual
tendencies.
Yeah.
I had some heterosexual tendencies.
But I used to believe in the game of American football, and I don't anymore. I think it's just a crazy sport. Any of these like high contact violent sports, there's like this culture among football fans and football players when a football player gets hurt where they are so like somber about it, and rightly so. It's like very tragic. I just am not able anymore to like bypass this paradox of a game that valorizes violence but then is horrified by its consequences.
Yeah.
And I hate it. Yeah.
You also were concussed multiple times. Football.
Yeah, and so I don't think I would like put my child in a high contact sport. Like I wouldn't want them playing football or hockey or anything like that because it's just not worth it.
I never was a fan of football, but as an adult, I learned those statistics about domestic violence going up during football games, and then I was just like, "Oh, this is stupid. Like what are we doing?"
Oh, this is bad.
Confessional. Okay, as a kid, you were gay.
Well, yeah.
Something about you that I know is that you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
What
Since
were
birth.
what were the glaring signs looking back that you were gay that you didn't realize at the time?
I had Pocahontas on repeat as a 5-year-old. I had that soundtrack down, which apparently is a gay thing to do. Did I have anything else? I mean, there was a long while where I was like watching gay porn, but didn't know that I was gay. So that was something that it's like, hey, that's a pretty clear sign.
You were just looking it up in like a research way, or?
No, I vividly remember thinking a couple times like, I wonder why I have to type GAY gay before my search to enjoy what's going on. And it like took me way too long to connect the dots that, oh, I'm gay. Oh, that's why I like it.
That's
I like
insane.
the dissonance that you can be raised with is crazy.
You know that I also experienced that where I was, Googling. I was doing the Am I Gay quizzes. I was doing Ingrid Nielsen coming out, Joey Crisaffa coming out, Connor Franta coming out. Like I was watching coming out videos of YouTubers that I loved and then weeping, crying because they were so happy and free. And I was like, God, I just love gay. I just love that you can be yourself.
And it's just such an odd feeling because like I guess I was in denial, but it didn't feel like denial the whole time. Like I'm not someone who like soft launched as bisexual first and then fully gay.
You hard
Like,
launched gay.
as soon as I connected the dots in my head, I was fine like taking the label. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm gay." But yeah, there were some glaring signs such as my search history that should have led me to that conclusion sooner.
I feel like people were really surprised when you came out. You were like a shocker to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I mean I was pretty straight presenting for sure.
Well, probably because we were so in love too. It was like
Probably
tough.
because I had a baddie on my arm.
Matthew ruined my secret of boyfriend. I didn't get asked about boys because people knew that I had Matthew. And then when you came out, I was like, fuck. I've got to figure something else out. I have to find another one. And I never did.
Wow.
You were the best.
No, I was keeping you.
I have to confront you about something.
Okay.
I've written it in my notes that we could discuss it this week because it's really on my mind.
Okay.
You told all of our friends that I DoorDashed a candle for sex.
Okay. They did get that information from me, but I was not telling them your business.
Okay.
I just so happened to be hanging out with a bunch of our mutual friends when we also all knew that you were preparing for a date at the bar 2 blocks from our house.
Yes.
And then someone saw on my phone, because we share a DoorDash account, that right before the date, you DoorDashed a vanilla candle.
Don't tell them what scent it was. The house smelled really bad, first of all. My house didn't smell good. Okay. I have a cat. Sometimes she's stinky. I got really nervous. I was going to have a girl over after, and I didn't know what else to do. So in a moment of vulnerability, because I get a little nervous sometimes, I confided in DoorDash.com to get something delivered to my house, and it was a candle. And then I get confronted by all of my friends the next day about the candle that I DoorDashed to our house.
We immediately checked your location because we thought you might be out at the bar already, and that would be such a power move to have DoorDashed a candle and it's just waiting on the front step for when you invite her back to our house. Just like, oh, here's the candle I DoorDashed for us.
Hey babe, is that a candle in your pocket? Or
Are you just happy to see me? And do you think vanilla is a good scent for that?
No, I don't know anything about smells. There's a couple things that I missed out on via growing up in the church world where I missed out on. I don't know anything about fashion or jewelry. I wasn't allowed to have perfume or like nail polish or jewelry or anything. So there's some stuff that just like genuinely hasn't crossed my desk as an adult that I haven't looked into.
I was gonna say, are you interested in engaging with those things now? I think if those are things that you want to like look into, you should.
Okay, I will. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to ask you the question that I've been asking the last few guests, which is what is your personal EGOT? So
Okay.
if there are 4 goals in your life that feel sort of unattainable, but that if you worked really hard, you could accomplish them,
Okay.
what are those 4 goals that you have?
Okay. This is a really fun question for me right now because, as you know, I'm just now waking up dreams and goals.
Huge. This just in. Boys can have dreams and goals.
Dreams and goals.
Okay. What are your 4 dreams and goals?
Something to do with stained glass, because I really do intend to keep up with it. And I think eventually it would be really cool to put like queer art. Like I would love to do things that are meaningful to me and get messages out there with stained glass. I think that stained glass is such an interesting medium to do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because historically stained glass is pretty much only found in churches.
Yeah.
And so especially if I were able to, like, I don't know, somehow be able to redo the stained glass windows in an old church, but I could redo them with scenes of like queer love or other things that historically the church, at least the Catholic Church, where stained glass is really prominent, would not have vibed with. I think that would juxtapose really beautifully.
Gorgeous. People that have been disenfranchised by the church.
Yeah.
Get to be spotlighted in a church would be beautiful.
And something that I've been playing around with recently is I would love to do a piece that is kind of like an homage to like Palestine and Palestinians. Yeah. So I've been thinking that I would love to do something like an olive tree touching the water, and then like the ripples are made of the metalwork between the pieces of glass, and I think that would be very beautiful.
That makes me want to cry. That's so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Another one, writing. Yeah, another thing that I have taken up recently is writing. I've always really enjoyed writing, and I've got some shit to say. And
Matthew's always yapping.
I've got some messages to disseminate. Something with writing, honestly, probably just like getting a book published would be awesome.
That's awesome.
I have always in the back of my head kind of wanted to hold public office.
Love. I think you'd be a great politician. I would love to see a version of the world where you're holding public office. I think you'd be incredible.
Thank you.
Wow.
What is another thing I'm passionate about? I'm really bad at music, as aforementioned, but I think it would be really cool to get really good at music and then do something with that.
I love that.
I think that I could like write music well or something at some point.
I think you could too. I think you're a really talented writer. I'm excited for my special and my TV show to come out and to have you credited in them. Like anything that I'm writing, you are contributing to in some way, whether that be like just reading it over for me or like adding tags or revising or like coming up with new ideas.
I'm earning those writing credits. Yes,
yes, you are. Thank you so much.
I want to have writing credits on your stand-up special and on the TV show that you're writing.
Yep. Yeah. It is an unpaid position currently.
Hey, just let me in the writer's room.
But I appreciate you so much.
Did I just make one of my EGOTs an actual Grammy? Is that what I did when I said something with music? I
think you could win a Grammy.
You think so?
I think we should wait it out and see what happens.
Do you think my vocal coach would disagree?
Michael, was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
I think Michael might have some hesitations about that goal, but I think you could get there. Thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Yeah.
I love you so bad. Love you. Bye.
Bye.